We come back from our month hiatus to wrap up the final 6 races of this season, starting in Austin, Texas for the U.S. Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go for episode 158 of the Eaton Asphalt podcast. All right. So summer break number 2 and final summer break finally ended. And yeah, we have just the final corner, the penultimate corner basically of the season.
Yeah, it does feel like we're on a circuit right now that has
Yeah.
a lot of corners that are slow, and then now it's like the last little sprint
Yeah.
fast track that we
Yeah.
got right now. But yeah, it was nice. Honestly, it was nice. It was nice to be like, all right, after summer break, had a couple back-to-backs, needed a bit of a breather, maybe too long of a breather, but now I'm like ready to go. I mean, we got US this weekend, Mexico next weekend. Like I'm ready for both of them.
Yeah. We're doing a Western Hemisphere round for these next 4 races, which is good on the time zones for the good guys.
It is the best thing to know that
Yeah.
we have to be, up in like early morning.
Yeah. So yeah, fantastic. Yeah, like we said, starting with the US Grand Prix. So this part of the podcast, this episode of the podcast, we're going to do our US Grand Prix preview presented by Ian, country fun facts, and then our predictions and gambling. So short and sweet to get everyone kind of waking up, a quick little episode to get people back in the groove. So starting with the US Grand Preview, Ian, take it away.
The United States of America. We are racing in Austin, Texas again around this glorious track. It's not just a track, it's a stadium. It's a place for people to get together. It's a coliseum. We got 56 laps around this circuit. Not very much. It's because it's a long circuit. It's a big track. 5.5 kilometers. I don't know what that is in miles because I'm fancy and European. And even 20 turns, 2 DRS zones. The first one starting after turn 10 and going into a speed trap in turn 12. Second one starting in turn 19 and going into that speed trap into turn 1. We've been racing here not that long. Like it's pretty young. America's a young country. We've been racing here. The Grand Prix is pretty young here as well. Since 2012, we've been racing here every year except for 2020 and the COVID year. And we're going to stay racing here until at least 2026. Smart money is that definitely gets extended considering how heavy the investment is in the United States from Liberty Media and Formula One. Thank God we're racing at this track though, because this track is a spectacle. So this is the only track that the Eaton Asphalt podcast has visited, and on more than one occasion at that. Track is cool, race is awesome, but the pageantry and the circus that goes on outside the track. We saw little person wrestling, we saw an amusement park, there were concerts, there was camping, just a hell of a weekend. And it's also cool because since it's so young, they basically just like copy and pasted parts of different tracks around the world and mushed them together. So, an example is like turns 3 and through 6 are super similar to Silverstone's Maggots and Beckett's, like the S curves at Suzuka. Like similar to the S curves of Suzuka too. And then 12 through 15 is almost a direct copy of Hockenheim Stadium section. So the track itself, you start out with an awesome uphill. Marco and I were at this turn 1 here, but uphill into turn 1, it's bumpy. It is, allows for good overtaking opportunities. And then the S curves from turns 3 to 6, like I mentioned earlier. Turn 11 is almost a direct hairpin. It's not exactly like Monaco, but it's close to the turn 4 in Monaco. And then after that, super technical, slower part of the track into a sweeping corner, turn 18, and then right angle where it's basically a straightaway into the pit straight. So something to consider for this race. Over the past, like it has been a lot bumpier than it's going to be. They race MotoGP here, so it has to have. I think they had to kind of concede, okay, we can't have MotoGP as bumpy as like a Formula One car can be. And so it's not going to be as bumpy. Tires are going to be overheating a little more just because it's going to be a lot faster, but it's not going to be overheating because of the weather, because 85, 84, and 86 is what the weather's going to be. Very manageable. I think when we were there, it was pushing upwards of like mid 90s. absolutely miserable experience. There was no such thing as too much water, and luckily water was like $14 a bottle. So all you basically it costs money to stay alive there,
Yeah.
and stay hydrated. But what a great race to be back. There's going to be so much pageantry. This is the spot where Daniel Ricciardo came in on a horse. This is the spot where people are going to be wearing cowboy hats. Probably aren't going to be dressed like hillbillies with United States of America onesies, but that's a lesson that the Eaton Asphalt boys learned a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that gets warm.
That gets warm.
But in this kind of weather, this is perfect for it, maybe.
Yeah. And nobody else is wearing that kind of stuff. You're going to look
Yeah.
very, yeah.
It was like, oh, NASCAR makes Formula One. It's not as much as I thought. No.
Yeah, definitely. When people are asking to take pictures with you because of your outfit, you know you're out of place. Like, you know,
You stand out from the crowd.
Anyway, COTA coming up this weekend. Let's get into country fun facts and talk about the United States of America and the fun facts within.
All right. Working on our country fun facts. I'll start us off here. I did do Texas theme because it is in shocker. It's in Texas. So here we go. Amarillo, Texas is known as the butterscotch capital of the world. The state of Texas is bigger than every single country in Europe. And my last one, Vietnamese ranks as the third most spoken language in Texas. What is a lie?
Texas being bigger than every country in Europe makes sense to me, with the exception of some outlier. Like, is Uzbekistan in Europe? Nah, I feel like it's Asia. I'm gonna go with butterscotch. Doesn't seem like butterscotch.
You nailed it. It was the helium capital of the world.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wait, what's helium? You mine helium?
Farm it. Just move on.
We'll take it. All right. Mine are. I figured you were going to do Texas, so instead of doing Texas or just United States as a whole, I wanted to focus on the other state. A state. What do you think the state is that gets the least amount of clout in the United States?
Indiana.
All right, rude. No, Alaska was what I was going.
Okay. All right, fair.
All right, Alaska. So my three are going to be Alaska themed. So pick out the left.
Okay.
Alaska has more coastline than the rest of the U.S. combined. Alaska has a national park that covers more square miles than the country of Albania. Just a national park. Mm-hmm. And the U.S. once planned to nuke the moon to intimidate the Soviet Union by launching nuclear weapons from Alaska's capital city of Juneau.
Oh. That last one sounds too ridiculous to make up. I'm going to go with that one.
It is that one.
Let's go.
That one is a lie. But only that it happened in Alaska. It was a plan that the CIA was like, hey, we got to nuke the moon to show them that we're strong.
They're like, back off. Yeah, back off. We'll blow it.
Oh, you like the rising tides? Well, how about now?
Do you want this world to end? We'll nuke the moon.
All right.
We both got it, dude. Let's go.
I mean, Rest versus Rust looks like Rest absolutely played into our favor. And actually, speaking of Rest, this next part of the podcast, the predictions and gambling, is brought to you by Casper Mattresses. A good life is founded on a foundation of good rest. It's important. Formula One knows that better than anybody. It doesn't matter if you've rested recently. It's always good to rest again. You wake up a little too early, rest more with the snooze. You take a break between sets. Before you hit that other set, take another rest. Have another one. Are you feeling burnt out from work? Take a vacation week. And after that vacation week, take another vacation week. After a long 4 weeks of rest, after 6 weeks of rest for Formula One season, Formula One knows that rest is best. And the best type of rest comes with Casper Mattresses. Thank you, Casper Mattresses, for sponsoring this part of the podcast.
You're not you when you're tired.
You're not you when you're exactly.
Join Formula One. There's plenty of rest here.
All right, let's get into our predictions and gambling to wrap the episode. All right. Let's get a quick state of the union on where things stand because I know it's not let's do gambling first here. I remembered it being bad. I didn't remember it being quite as bad. And
Oh,
so
you dang.
uh, as it stands right now, Marco is up 3.23 units. He makes you money. You follow his picks, he makes you money.
Yes.
18 to 26. Not a bad, not
No.
a great record, but makes
And
you
who cares, right?
correct. Marco has 18 wins. I have 19 wins
Nice. Who's the real winner?
and 31 losses. I'm down 13.33 units overall in the season. Not a big deal because guess what? I had a bit of a reset after summer break. What I needed was the reset after the reset, and now we're
Mhm.
going into freaking high gear here. So
You're in the third sector. This is sector 3 of the track, and this is the most important sector.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. My gambling picks are not going to shock the world right now because it's sector 3, but I got to ease into high speed,
Hmm.
really chase at the end. I'm going to go. Both of my picks are actually even money, so I got two
Oh,
picks, both even money. No positives needed here. Oscar top two finish. It's actually minus 105. I'll be fair. Minus 105 top two finish for Oscar Piastri. And Albon top 10 finish. That is direct even money. I feel like both of those are layup. I almost parlayed those, added a couple
whoa.
more legs onto it, kicked this thing into 12th
That's
gear.
crazy. Why not, dude? Why not do a third bet right there?
Yeah. So if I hit one of these, I'll be at even money for the week.
Okay.
And then we accelerate. But I'm going to hit both of them and I'm going to start accelerating now.
And you're doing 1 unit for both?
One unit for both.
Okay. This is a sprint weekend. We did not mention this, but this is a sprint race weekend. So I'm going to play a little bit in the sprint as well. So sprint quali head to head, Stroll versus Kevin Magnussen is the exact same, minus 120 for both. Stroll is theoretically in a better car. Up for debate on the driver. So I'm going to go Stroll minus 120 to beat head to head K Mag in the sprint qualifying. My next one is going to be quali winner Lando versus the field. So this is new territory. This is always Max versus a field. Lando versus a field. Lando was plus 100. The field was minus 140. Thanks Vegas for those fair odds. I'm going to take the field at minus 140. And then the final one, over 18 cars classified plus 140. No one is getting in crashes this year. Over 18 cars classified plus 140, half a unit on that.
Do you think with the extra rest, people are going to get more aggressive now that they're super well rested and getting crashes?
No, it's going to be like us on the Two Truths and Lie. They're going to come in laser focused.
That's so true. That's so smart.
Yeah.
You're right. All right, count him. He's making you money all season. Bet your mortgage on it. And
And give me some dividends.
that is guaranteed. Exactly. Going into the predictions, race predictions, our last sector here. As it stands right now, I am leading Marco 12 predictions right to 11 predictions right all season. You might be saying that's a lot of races for not a lot of predictions right, but well rested.
Final sector. Final
Final.
sector. The boys are in their final sector.
Who doesn't finish the race? I'm going to go with K-Mag. Also, point of information, Marco has gotten the last two who doesn't finish these race predictions right. Driver of the day, I'm going to go with Max Verstappen. I think he's back. Douche of the day, Sergio Perez. He's staying at Red Bull. I think he's going to be a little bit chipper, making sure he tries to not, maybe he tries to go for number one driver. Wild card prediction, no McLaren's on the podium. Fastest lap, Lewis Hamilton, and 4 cars not to finish this race.
Okay,
Actually,
nice.
actually, switch that. 1 car not to finish this race. We're riding together on nobody crashing in the race.
I like that. Okay. Funny enough, we do have the exact same wild card prediction. That's pretty wild. That is wild, right?
That's wild.
Anyway, mine is going to be he doesn't finish. Liam Lawson, he was saying that he's getting a bad end of the bargain coming in at a sprint weekend. So morale's already low. He's out. Driver of the day, Lewis Hamilton. He does like driving in COTA. So I think he's going to be a spring chicken getting some elderly rest here. Douche of the day, K Mag. He's going out with a bang, like I've been saying. Wildcard prediction. I also had no McLaren podium. I'm going to switch it up on the top of my head. Double Ferrari podium.
I'll take it. I like
I
that.
couldn't be
Like
more, this is the most wrong prediction I think I've said all year. Cool. Fastest lap, Lando Norris, and then how many cars don't finish two to win my over 18 classified?
All right, everybody, back in action, and yeah, back at best place to do it, the United States of America, and we'll see you on the other side of the Grand Prix for a recap of US and a quick little twofer on to Mexico.
See you, assholes.
See you, assholes.
Hey, thought you could leave without saying goodbye.
I used to say I live my life a quarter mile at a time. And I think that's why we were brothers. Because you did too.